the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as the valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark.
Celebrate. How's everybody doing? Good morning.
Faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach. Every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Rick's play by play.
Wow. 2026. A lot to get to today.
Let the games begin.
The coach, Phil Elmassian, joins us at 7. We'll round out the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. And I think it's about time we started telling the truth about the Southeastern Conference. We'll get into all that. Mike Ashley will have his first open mic of the year. That is, if he's sobered up any from his Happy New Year celebration. We never really know. And then Jen the Gamecock Girl. And we'll continue to talk about the SEC with Jen. I hope everybody was able to segue into the New Year safely. I hope everybody's doing okay. And good morning to everybody. The BDST theme song has gotten a lot more love than I ever thought it would, so I'm letting it play, you know. It's the first. There you go. Yeah. But hey, it's good to see everybody that's in here already. My goodness. Thanks, Paul. Good morning. Hello, David. How are you? Thunder.
Thunder in the thunder.
God, that's one of the worst songs ever. Remember that song?
Lightning and the thunder.
What in the holy hell? Now there's one about stir fry. I think what I'm going to do is jump into the recording studio and just start writing a song about ribeye steak. I may have a multi-platinum hit on my hands. Steven, how are you? Good morning. Good to see you. David, good morning. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year. A lot to get to, man. I got to be honest. I missed everybody. I had not planned to be off I had not planned to not do a show New Year's Eve, but then Radford's basketball schedule got in the way when the game got moved, which I'm glad it did because we're able to leave that morning, New Year's Eve, go down. And the Highlanders, by the way, how about the two local basketball entities getting off to great starts in conference play? We go down there and we knock off Upstate on the road, a road conference game. It's like a gold brick in a wagon, like Mike Jones used to talk about. And you get home around, I don't know, 8 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock game. And Virginia Tech, we started following the Virginia Tech game on the way home. What a win. I tell you what, they're overtime warriors, Mike Young's team, beating UVA in triple overtime. What is that, the 4th overtime win already? Great win. Great win. Tell you, if they can get everybody healthy, this is going to be hyperbole, and I'm going to be called a homer. If they get everybody healthy, I think Tech could win the ACC. We'll see. I know. What's up, King Scott? Good morning. Please subscribe, like, and share our channel content. First thing we have to do is, as we get into the first quarter of the new year, is get up to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 772. So I need everybody to work for me. Tell your friends, your neighbors, get them to subscribe. They're going to start pushing it pretty quickly on YouTube. We've gotten a lot of leeway because we've absolutely destroyed all of our viewing metrics, the algorithm, especially in rewatch minutes and people who are going back. So we just need people to subscribe. It's free. So we're going to need everybody to help us out. That would be awesome. So much to get to. All right. I got to be honest. I'm taking great pleasure. First of all, there's so many good things that have happened with those getting theirs that deserve it in a negative way. First of all, ABC, ESPN, and Disney. I love it. Everybody on X the last 2 days been finally, it's like a now foregone conclusion with how awful ESPN is and how they are to the detriment of everything regarding college football. Everybody ripping Herb Street and Fowler. They're just ass clowns. Game day, bunch of ass clowns. Even Coach Saban's turned into one of those guys. And everybody just ripping it's great. It's great. Herb Street was almost crying yesterday because Alabama was the team he pounded the table for, right? With 3 losses. You got to put Alabama in. Got to. And I'm telling you, the only team who's came off the bye, how good is Indiana? The only team who came off the bye and won. And not only did they win, they beat down Alabama like we haven't seen Alabama since the Saban era beat down. I mean, that was an absolute – they could have had arrests on the Rose Bowl playing surface after that game. They beat them so badly. That was as one-sided of a game of any of the games that have been out there. Holy hell. Kurt Cignetti is the best coach in college football. That is the best program in college football right now. And what they did to Alabama, I won't say I almost felt sorry for them because I don't, but it was kind of pitiful. It really was. I mean, that looked like 2 different classes of program, and we're talking about Alabama in the almighty SEC. We're going to destroy a lot of myths here today. Because this whole brainwashing about how the SEC is so far above the rest of college football is a bunch of bullshit. They're top heavy like every other league. The only team better in the SEC than Miami, I thought, was Georgia. And then they lose last night to Ole Miss. All right? Miami's as good as anybody, but maybe Georgia. But now I guess you got to say maybe. We'll find out, right? They get to play the team that beat Georgia. You watch Miami play, and how they play up front, there's nobody in the SEC better than they are. So sick of it, man. And ESPN is just an absolute joke. I hope you all understand how horrible they are for the sport. And everything they say is just a complete, just to kind of cock gobble everything about their own benefit and their own finances because of their partnership with the SEC. Duke goes out and outscores Arizona State in their bowl game, the ACC champion. The SEC myth is being destroyed before our eyes, and it's awesome. Hey, Robert, Happy New Year. Good to see you. Welcome back. Montana, right? Was Montana or Wyoming? I think it was Montana. Good to see you, brother. Let me know if you got any Bigfoot updates. So, Robert, what I want to do is bring the whole crew out there to you, and we're just going to hang out, and we're going to go on a Bigfoot expedition. Then we're going to cook a lot of meat. Okay? Kirk Cignetti, is this hyperbole? Is what he has done in 2 years the greatest coaching job in the history of college football? When you take in Indiana and what that program has not been for over 5 decades, 6 decades? Did you see the look early in the game when Alabama tried? First of all, they did that rush up to the line of scrimmage. Kalen DeBoer completely panicking. I think he felt early on we were in a lot of trouble. And I love the way he handled it. So on that very first series of the Rose Bowl, Alabama won the toss. They deferred. And they play a lot of zone coverage. That's what they do. Well, they didn't in that first possession. They sent a lot of pressure. Indiana wasn't ready for it. And they cut away to Cignetti. He wrote down a couple words. He said something, and at halftime, then they adjusted. And they had the game in hand at halftime. And they said, well, on that first series, they kind of messed up our presentation with the pressure. But, we took care of it the rest of the half. And then it almost like it got offended. Then they ran up and they tried that horrible fake punt or whatever that play was. Well, it was a fake punt. They went for it on fourth down inside their own 40, and they stuffed it, and then the game was over. Mendoza's just an unbelievable college football quarterback. Indiana is legitimately the best team in the country. They're the best coach team in the country. And what Kirk Cignetti has done is unbelievable. I put the posting up for everybody who gets so involved in the 247 sports, which doesn't mean a damn thing. Indiana, if you look at the comparison between Indiana and Alabama and the 5-star recruits, I think Alabama had 9 or 10 5-star recruits. Indiana had 0. Alabama had 15 or 18 4-star recruits. Indiana had 2. It's all about coaching. You have to have talent, but you better have a coach and a staff who can bring all that together. Nobody has more talent than Georgia. Nobody has more talent than Alabama. Nobody has more talent than Texas A&M. Oh, wait a minute. They're all in the SEC, so they've got to be immediately better than everybody else in college football. No, they're not. Hey, Prometheus, keeping the fire going in 2026. Hey, Matthew. What's up, Tebow? Joseph, how are you, brother? Kalen DeBoer looked lost at halftime, and I hate the halftime. I hate the coach. I hate all those. Those interviews are so stupid. But he looked as if he knew this was going to be a long, long, long day, and it was. The physical domination. How many times have we heard? We're going to talk about it here with Coach Elmo. He can't wait to jump on today. He's so excited about Indiana. What a physical beatdown at the point of contact. That Indiana offensive line, oh, jeez Louise. And defensively, man, that team is so fundamentally sound. I'm telling you, I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. They look like an NFL team on defense with the way with their assignments. They don't miss tackles. They're the best tackling team I've seen in the country. I got to talk to Coach Elmo about that defense. They don't miss tackles. And in college football, what separates a lot of shoddy defenses and good ones are kids who take the wrong angle, no fundamentals. It's unbelievable. They're going to win the national championship. They got a rematch with Oregon, take the Miami, Ole Miss winner. But I think they're going to win the national championship. At Georgia, ESPN immediately, as soon as Alabama embarrassed themselves and embarrassed Kirky. Oh, Kirky. You're going to pound the table for 5 SEC teams next year? Hey, Kirk, can we, and I'm a guy who loves dogs. I love cats and dogs. Can we just shut the hell up about your dog, by the way? Right? Can we just stop? Can we just stop? We don't care. Nobody cares. But you tell me beyond the top 2 or 3 in the SEC, who scares you? Like, what makes them set above everyone else? Look at their bowl record. Iowa beat Vanderbilt. Hey, if SEC is going to do it, and if all these people who say the G5s don't belong, by the way, all those people, they can go pound sand. JMU played on Oregon's home field. Yeah, and I know they gave up 50 points plus, but they scored 34. And they stood toe-to-toe with them in the second half. Texas Tech scored this many. That was one of the worst offensive performances I've ever seen, Texas Tech. They couldn't do anything against Oregon. That was on a neutral field. At least JMU went up there and fought their asses off and scored 34 points. Tulane put up a good fight, even though Ole Miss beat the crap out of them for the second time. Ole Miss pretty good, aren't they? I think Miami and Indiana are going to play in the championship game. And then I think Indiana wins. Because Indiana is the best team in the country. That kid, by the way, the Raiders, you are going to tank for Mendoza, and you are going to be very good again very quickly. He makes all the throws. And then you see him after the game, and he didn't care about anything about himself. First of all, he praises God, not afraid to show his faith. How refreshing is that when companies like Disney and ESPN want to get rid of all that? No. Gave credit to his teammates. All he talked about was, I didn't win the Heisman because of me. I won it because of them. We didn't play well here today because of me. Look at them. Look at Coach. I hope people saw that post-game interview. So there we go. But I'm saying is this, before they go around and say, hey, this school doesn't belong because they're not a power school, that school doesn't belong. Do we now say that these SEC teams don't belong? I guess we can say that too, right? No, Disney won't buy Netflix. Netflix is too big. It's too large of an entity. It's trying to gobble up other things. Yeah, Indiana does not beat themselves at all, David. They don't penalize themselves. They don't put themselves in a bad situation. They're really good. and it was so great. It was almost like you could hear Chris Fowler getting upset at Herb Street. He was trying to make excuses for Alabama. Whatever those were, the team that he really said, hey, you cannot leave Alabama out. He can't take those comments back now. But all I'm saying is this. With all the criticism that was given JMU, Tulane, and look, we know that anytime that they're included in this, it's going to be a major upset if they win a game. We know that. We're not stupid. But they did score 34 against Oregon. Texas Tech spent $38 million on its roster and didn't score a damn point. If the Raiders don't take Mendoza, Prometheus, you need to turn in your fanship. Yeah, I like the Ole Miss original helmets too. I like the light blue ones. Those were fine last night though. They've got a lot they can do with their uni. They got that light blue, the traditional older color. They got that navy and the red. There's a lot they can do. And you know, Lane Kiffin, I know he's got like half of the offensive staff or maybe more that's going to go to LSU, but there's no way he liked that last night. Yeah. Fowler has to use humor to drag along. Yeah, Kirk Herbstreit's not good. He presents himself like he is, but he is not good. He's horrible in the NFL. Herbstreit's become like Tony Romo. And when Chris Collinsworth is watching Patrick Mahomes play, Romo's just god awful all the time. Herbstreit is terrible. Yeah, Pavia is not going to get another year of eligibility. He's done. He won't get it. I don't think he'll get it unless he gets his family involved again. Then maybe he will. Tebow says his Eagles will trade A.J. Brown to the Raiders for Max Crosby. My old Howie Rose to move this off. I hope not. I want to see Max Crosby be a Bronco. He likes Sean Payton a lot. He wants to stay in our division, Tebow, so he can hound the Raiders twice a year. Yeah, I do too, Prometheus. The light blue and red, me too. Me too. David, interesting fact. Virginia Tech could be in what would be year 5 of the Cignetti administration. Oh, what might have been. Yeah. Because that's when all that happened right when we brought the show back on radio during COVID in that August of 2020. And we owe everything in college football to Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, who came forward. They were the 2 biggest players in the country at the time. We want to play. We should play. This is ridiculous. And we had college football that year. And I'd heard of Curt Cignetti. You know, I knew he was a coach who was doing some good things at JMU. And then, of course, the Tech job opened. And, you know, I got people saying, well, Curt Cignetti wants to talk to Whit Babcock. He wants to make the move. And then a couple weeks later, I said, well, how did it go with Cignetti? This was actually an interview we had on the show. And they said, well, Tech did not interview him because Whit Babcock thought he was too old. Too old? What is he now, 63? You think anybody in Bloomington cares that he's 63? No. He's not just an ESPN shill. First of all, he's a Kirk Herbstreit branding shill. He's an SEC, and it's a guy who played at Ohio State shill. So, yeah, Tech. If Tech would have played their cards right, they very well could have and should have had Curt Cignetti as their head coach following Justin Fuente. Yep. Oops. Hang on. Let me get Creed in. It's cold. Oh, cool. He's got blood on him. And I know what that means. He means he's killed something. Come on. First kill of the new year. My guy doing to whatever critter he just destroyed the same thing Indiana did to Alabama. But anyway, I'm sick and tired of the whole SEC thing. People are posting all these stats. And look, I know they're going to send more guys to the NFL than any other league. We're not going to get into how much more individually talented those teams are, because they are, especially when they graduate to the NFL. But hey, if we're going to look at this 100% like everybody else does, as soon as a game happens, right? G5 loses 2 games. Everybody's on board there at ESPN and the national pundits that the G5 should never be included. Well, we put 5 SEC teams in and only 1 remains. So we're just going to ignore the results of the games now, since it's the SEC. I guess that's what ESPN will do. Completely ignore. I have to mute the games. And you shouldn't have to. I have to mute the games because it's such a constant commercial. I'm going to ask Coach Elmo what he thinks of the whole ESPN production. They have ruined college football. And there's no self-awareness there that they understand that. They don't care, but they don't. It's crazy. Brian says, can I borrow Creed for a couple of days? I haven't checked my pro. Oh, you wouldn't any longer. I don't know what it was, but he's over there right now. He's got a little like dried blood here. It's not from him. I don't want to be too descriptive, but he's over there now doing the, yeah. By the way, his shoulder completely healed. First kill of the year there, whatever. And he's only been out like an hour, and he's already, but anyway. No, Creed earns his keep. He does. That dude is the Kurt Signetti of hunting animals. Like Rick by the grill with barbecue sauce. Or just, just the steak juice. Like when you get a steak out and you get it on. Oh, Happy New Year to everybody. Are you not entertained? Yeah, we kind of are. And then when he brings you stuff, he'll bring you a critter. You know how they do. I just looked. He did not, which means he probably finished it, which is why he's – but he doesn't waste his food. But they'll get it, and then they bring it up, and he'll drop it in front of the porch or right there by the step, and he'll sit by it like, yeah, I'm a badass. Don't ever forget that. Yeah, that's right, Tebow. Portal time begins today. What is it? Today through the 16th, 17th? I don't know when it ends. 2 weeks, right? A good 2 weeks. And you'll start to see some names moving around to Blacksburg and so forth. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I'll be curious to see the timing of how all this plays out. When do teams start announcing? We don't need to worry about the whole pretend. Let's don't go through pretend time or pretend like deals aren't already done. Well, we don't want anybody to think that we were tampering. There's no rules. Just stop. There's no rules. Wayne says, I hate the Steelers, but listening to fans complain about Tomlin makes me chuckle. Good luck when he's gone. I have a lot of friends who are Steelers fans, and they all don't want Mike Tomlin to be their coach any longer. And I say the same thing. I mean, he's never had a losing season. Yeah, I know the playoffs, this, that, and the other, but who are you going to get? Look at some of the teams in the National Football League. Look how poorly they're coached. Do you think, by the way, let me ask you this, because you are the smartest audience on YouTube. Do you think part of the problem is with how bad these games have been? Hey, Rodney, good morning. Happy New Year, brother. Do you think there aren't enough quality football teams to have a competitive college playoff, or is it just the way that it's set up? I don't know the answer. I'm asking your opinion because you guys have great opinions. Does that make sense? Did that make sense what I'm asking? Like, are we seeing bad games? Like, keep crushing it, by the way, on the text line. Thanks to Professional Door, all of our sponsors, by the way. Everybody on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Family Fencing Studios. Jason, how are you? Good morning to all of our sponsors. Happy New Year to all of our sponsors. You're the only reason I'm able to do the show. And I mean that sincerely. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, the NRB Super Bowl, Brandon at Top Shelf with our T-shirts. All the wonderful folks. Travis Williams, I was talking to him yesterday throughout the games. I agree with you, Southwest Virginia. I think go to 16 teams, eliminate these buys. Clearly, teams are not responding very well to the buys. And it's just like the Radford game on New Year's Eve. It's the third time Radford's played an opponent that's had multiple days off. Like, I think it was 12 days. And Upstate looked by the time they got hot, they couldn't catch up to Radford. You don't need that much time off this time of year. I think you're right. I think 16 teams with no buys makes a lot of sense. Yeah. People were asking me yesterday, New Year's Eve. I mean, people are excited about the portal. Yes. To answer everybody who might be watching, James Franklin will find a really good quarterback. There's a lot of them out there. I think I saw 36 starting quarterbacks went into the portal. So they'll assess. You know what? I'll say this, and I don't know. I would guess they already have their quarterback signed, or they're very close to having it done. And I think that's the way it is across the country. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want any of this talking about tampering. Let's just stop. All this stuff about how, well, you can't talk to them until until the portal really opens. Just stop. Let's stop pretending. Can we just stop pretending? There are no rules in place. It's just, yes, you will have a really, really good vibe when Tech announces their quarterback or when that shows up on social media. Tech may not announce it, but I mean, it may show up from the kid and all that. So don't worry about it. Yes, you'll have a really good quarterback. And it'll be a quarterback, I think, that will have multiple years. At least 2 years. So, yes. I think they're going to hit the offensive line hard. And I think feels like edge rusher is going to be something they're going to look at too. So, yeah. Yeah, Wayne, I don't know. Wayne, I can't remember. Wayne, who's the team that's kept the Browns out of the Super Bowl the most? I don't remember exactly who that is. Who is that? By the way, the Broncos are wearing this uniform right here, Wayne, on Sunday. Yeah. Sorry. Wayne, I kid because I love. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I have. Yeah, you're right, Brian. But I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna do that. Promised I would. Promised I would. If people think coaches haven't already been talking to guys in the portal, exactly. And I don't want to see anybody like writing about it. Oh my goodness, did they tamper with that kid? How did they announce it on Saturday? What world are we living in? There are no rules. This is the wild, wild west. It's the wild, wild west. He says I'm turning the podcast off now. No, wait, I'm sorry. Come back. Why, yes, he did, Prometheus. Grunkenmeyer said he's going to enter the portal. TLB says any team from any conference that earns the right to be in the playoffs deserves to be there. Correct. Regardless of how entertaining anyone else thinks their play might be when they get there. Yeah, all we heard was how the G5s can no longer be included. Well, what about the SEC? I guess we can make sure we don't put more than 2 of those in ever again. Look at their bowl record. Anybody want to look up their bowl record the last 2 years? Steven says, what's the over and under on when Franklin speaks to local media other than halftime basketball game? Go with the over on the amount of time. Wayne says you're breaking up. Check your connections. Hokey Rock says the Browns still have a team. I know, I'm with you, Southwest Virginia. When that happens, that's what we need to happen to finally destroy the system that's in place. In-season transfers will be the next thing. Todd Grantham predicted it. By the way, Todd Grantham is now the new defensive coordinator at UAB. He had options. I'm telling you, we'll let him tell his story. But he had options, several options. He is very close with Coach Mortensen, the coach who got the full-time head job at UAB, and Todd's on his last stop. And he wants to go somewhere we can help him build his program and be the guy who can kind of build that defense. Wayne says, no, they don't have a team, talking about the Browns. Yeah, Wayne, I didn't see any of that because I was traveling, but apparently Franklin said he's now going to bring in a co-defensive coordinator again. No, the ACC is still not going to survive, but I'm glad to see Miami telling everybody to go pound sand. I was pulling so hard for Miami. I'm just so tired. And Duke, that was a good win by Duke. Really good win by Duke. Arizona State's good. They outscored them. Duke's good. As classless as ESPN is, I was expecting him to bring in Lane Kiffin as a commentator for the Ole Miss game. Yeah, that's how bad it is. People were trying to say that they were thinking about that. That shows you how bad they are. Yeah, it was an underrated win. UVA beats an SEC team. Miami's in the semifinal. Duke beats a really good Arizona State team. I know they had a bad start that one day where they lost, the 3 bowl games. Steven, Georgia Tech choked it away against BYU. Pitt got beat down by East Carolina. But they had, everybody's got so many. I don't know if we can put a whole – here's the thing about what they all miss, trying to dog these teams. There's so many guys not playing in the lesser bowls. so many opt-outs, so many transfers. It's hard to even know how to go into these games and watch them and think, oh, are they going to win? Well, they should, but how many guys aren't playing? But that's not happening in the playoff. In the playoff, everybody's at full strength, and we're seeing the SEC being exposed for what it is. An overhyped cash cow for Disney and ESPN. They get 5 teams in, and the only team, again, who didn't look like they hadn't played football all year after the bye was Indiana, who looked sharper yesterday than they did beating Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. I mean, they're just so well coached. I'm going to talk to Coach Elmassian about Indiana a lot coming up. It's crazy. Yeah, I concur, Tebow. Poindexter, I don't think it's happening. And by the way, if he was really all that in the minds of James Franklin, he'd have been promoted. He wouldn't have been passed over 3 times as the defensive coordinator. Did Tech women's basketball lose to Miami, I guess, Paul? Is that what you're telling me? We talked about the men. That was a hell of a win. We were coming back from the Radford game, and I was watching the end of it, triple overtime. So did Tech lose last night? Oh, okay. Ooh, that's bad. It was a home loss too, wasn't it? Yeah, that's not good. Not good for Megan. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun game against 2 SEC teams. It was. I mean, it was the only really good game all day yesterday. Tech blew an 18-point lead? Really? Ooh, no, I didn't see any of that. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. I knew they played yesterday about 6-ish. But I did not see that. Let me look it up now, because now you got me curious. $75-67 in overtime. Wow, they were up 33-19 at halftime. Got outscored 23-11 in the fourth quarter. Ooh. Yeah, that's a bad loss. Home conference losses are bad losses. They are. Now, he's no longer the interim coach. He's now the new head coach. Yeah. He got named the head coach. He didn't want to be the head coach, but he got named. Pete Golding is their head coach. He signed a contract. Yeah, he is their guy, Joseph. They didn't waste much time after the whole Kiffin scenario. Yeah, he is their guy. Hey, I tell you, man, that was a great win from Mike Young. You better not get Tech in overtime. If you're an opponent, you better not play them overtime. They're not losing. And we talked about this, what they've dealt with injuries with Lawal out. Sorry, I'm switching beverages here. I don't want. I don't know what his contract I don't know what it was, Wayne. Golding's contract. I'm not sure. It's got to be weird for him too, because his offensive staff is going to LSU. He's retaining the defensive staff because he's a defensive guy. He's going to be calling the defensive plays, but his offensive staff are going to LSU. Yet here they are in the national semifinal. It's all right, though. Go Canes. Go Canes and go Hoosiers. That's who I want to win. Thanks to Jason and everybody at Family Fencing. 540-200-8294. They would have come out on New Year's Day if you'd asked them to. Let them get your yarder in January. Spring's going to be here before you know it. You don't want to have to worry about your fencing. Let them come out and take care of it. Then you can just go have fun in your yard. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hundley. I'm going by there next week. Next week might be the week we film him destroying my back in the best way possible. Go see him off of Peppers Ferry Road. Happy New Year, Mark, sponsor of our wonderful chat room. Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, right across from New River Community College, sponsor of our text line, 540-391-078. Thanks, Trav. Happy New Year, brother. Louise Baker, Team Long and Foster, sponsor of my Mike Burnup segment. Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. And now we've turned the calendar, and watch out for 2026, man. They've got so much stuff going on. We're going to have it all for you here. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 540-553-2971. Happy New Year, Charles. Thanks for all you do. The best at what they do with your home air and heat units. Thanks to the attorney, Ryan Pry. Happy New Year, Ryan. 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. Our BDST fan question of the week. And 70% of you said, no, you don't care about the bowls that aren't part of the playoff anymore. That was our fan question of the week. That was an easy one. That was a resounding hell no. Thanks to Larry Ramsey, National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of the program, my exclusive banking partner for 35 years. Happy New Year to Larry and everybody at National Bank. All the ladies up front that I talk to a lot, you are the best. Ready, Set, Fun with Bob Christ. Happy New Year, Bob. ReadySetFun.com, BobChrist11@gmail.com. If you want to raise money for your team or whatever it might be, check out, email Bob, BobChrist11@gmail. It's going to be very good for your budget, and you're going to raise the money you want in a heartbeat. It's awesome. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. They've been doing it since 1997, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. The NRV Super Bowl has been doing it for 25 years, and they've made so many improvements. I would love to get over there and do the show from there. It'd be fun. And have you guys out. That's where we need to do our bash. Harvey's GM in Radford, Brad Harvey, you're the absolute best. Go buy your new car to start the new year from Brad and then get it serviced at their department. They are the best. So Golding's making nearly $7 million in his first season. Okay. So he did okay then. What you're telling me, Wayne. Okay, I'll take the job. Yeah, many of you that were there at the Tech game said you had a great time on Saturday. I bet so. Or not on Saturday, on Wednesday. I bet you did. I bet you did. I know, and sure enough, I've already gotten 2 texts. I said it early. I don't care. I think Tech men's basketball can win the ACC. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to jump over Duke. We'll see. But when they're healthy, if they have everything going, I think they can win the ACC. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I've watched them play. You win that many overtime games and you're not even at full strength, you're pretty good. You've got a lot to you. They've got a lot of depth. They got a lot of depth. And they're only going to get better when everybody's back. These hard lessons, you may look back on all these hard lessons and go, that might be the best thing that's ever happened to Tech basketball in a long time. But we'll see. But they're good, man. They're a no-brainer NCAA team. And they're going to be one of those teams when you're filling out your bracket. By the way, we'll be doing some kind of bracket. Hopefully we'll get a restaurant or a business involved, but we'll be doing some kind of bracket with great prizes here. But that's the kind of team that you would go ahead and go, ooh, Tech could win that. And you might end up looking up at the end of your bracket going, wow, I've got Tech going to the Elite Eight. And you'd be okay. Yeah, UVA is good. See, that's the thing about it. That's a great point, Tebow. UVA is good. They're really good. And Tech still found a way, as beat up as they are, in triple overtime. After they blew that, what was it, a 5-point lead in the second overtime with like 20 seconds? But they didn't pout, and then they went in and they put them away in the third overtime. TLB says, does Saban ever smile? He says all the things that, I mean, he makes these statements that, and then people get on there, especially the pro ESPN people that work there. Boy, Nick Saban really laid it on the line, saying things like that we already know about, that the current system needs to be changed. The calendar of the NCAA football season needs to be changed. And everybody's like, whoa, wow, pretty deep. And I'm like, well, aren't these obvious statements? We need a commissioner. Oh, wow. Nick Saban, did you hear that? Well, yeah. Everybody knows that. He also picked Alabama yesterday. Oops. But the camera caught it. When Alabama tried that whole fake, get him to the line of scrimmage, which they didn't budge, and then they tried the fake, he had this sideways look like it really pissed him off. Like, he was like, all right, we're going to remember that one. We don't appreciate that. No, you're not going to draw us offside for an automatic first down. Oh, you're going to go ahead and go for it inside the 40? Go for it. You're not going to do that against our defense. And by the way, Indiana's defense, playing without its best player who got hurt in the Big Ten post-game celebration, jumping up to try to high-five somebody. He came down and tore his, I don't know if it was his knee or his ankle. He's out for the whole postseason, and they still made Alabama look like a high school team. Yeah, they do. They've fallen over Saban like he's some kind of – yeah. Yeah, he's lowered himself to join that group. Oh, no doubt. Saban's arguably the best coach in the history of college football, considering the time that he did everything. Yeah. But what he's doing now, no. He might be, people on Texas. Saban trying to say that he should be the commissioner? Maybe. I don't know. I don't watch any of that. It's if y'all watch it, more power to you. I mute the games. Joe Testastore, whatever his name is he's and Fowler and Herb Street. I was listening to it on purpose last night just to hear Herb Street get all tongue-tied. I started looking at it on X. Have you heard Herb Street? He didn't know what to say. Is he trying to discredit Indiana? And in some ways he was. He was trying to discredit what Indiana was doing last night. He did. The guy's a clown. He's so bad on the NFL games too. Tries to present himself as this unbiased source and his knowledge, but he's just another shill. That's all anybody is there. But nobody's questioning what Saban is as a coach. That's not what this conversation's about. This is all about what he's kind of become there on the set of game day. I wish he'd have gotten back into coaching. I wish he'd have taken one of these jobs. That'd have been great. I wish he would have said LSU, you could have avoided the whole Kiffin thing if he just said, all right, I'm going to come in and I'm going to coach for 3 years somewhere. Who wants to hire me? Everybody in the country would have lined up. Yeah, it's true. His commercials are good, but he comes across so badly on the set. Yeah, his commercials are really good. But yeah, we're separating Saban the coach from Saban the ESPN shill on game day. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Paul. I mean, he not only knew what he was doing from player evaluations, but he knew what he was doing with coaching evaluations. Absolutely. Absolutely. I guess in some ways, college football hasn't really responded well to him being out. Yeah, McDonough's good. Sean McDonough's good. He tries to be an actual guy and not an ESPN guy, but I think he gets drawn into it too much. Most of those awards are what they are anyway, political awards. But he is good. He is good. He's great at hockey. I wish he did more hockey. He is a great hockey announcer. And his dad was a terrific reporter. You know, his dad used to do some stuff with the NFL. He was great too. Yes, he did. He used to be on CBS. Yep. 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 I had to send Coach Elmassian the invite. So much to catch up on, I didn't send him the invite. He's going to yell at me. I'm going to end up doing laps. Coach going to send me around the track. Got to do some fifths right after hamburger drills. All right, Coach, you got your invite now. Sorry. My bad. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you were able to ring in the new year peacefully. I'm very glad that the holiday season is now behind us. And now is where college basketball gets very interesting across the country. It already has for both Tech and Radford. Great wins for both starting out conference play. Yeah, Todd's going to be on Monday. We'll talk more about his decision to go to UAB. Todd's got one more stop left, and he weighed a lot of options. He had multiple offers at power schools, at G5s, but ultimately he went with a personal relationship, and he's earned the right. He's been all over the SEC coaching, Big Ten, NFL. Could have went back to the NFL. I mean, the guy's been busy. I've tried not to bug him because I know he and his agent have been in constant conversations. And I knew he had talked about Coach Mortensen a lot and the kind of person that he is and the kind of young coach that he is and his vision. And I'm glad to see all that got aligned. So congratulations to Todd. And he'll tell the whole story on Monday's show. And what was great, he did indeed. He gave me the information. I was able to release it before anybody at UAB, So we put it up on our social media and on our Facebook page. It got over 15,000 interactions. It's crazy, the Facebook page. If we get those people to subscribe to the channel, man, I could do this full time and we could do 7-hour shows. Joining us now on the program, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Rick.
Coach Elmassian. By the way, I'll tell you one thing, Coach. I mean, first of all, I didn't send you the invite till late, so I guess you're going to make me run laps. My bad. Secondly, great picture of you and your just absolutely stunning wife for your New Year's celebration. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You did a fine job, sir.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, recruiting.
Never stops, does it? Never stops. Well, listen, I want to get right into it with you now. Indiana. Is this the greatest coaching job we've seen in the modern college football era? What he has done in his 2 seasons, Kurt Cignetti?
Next to the Kansas State turnaround in the 90s, yes, no question. I've never seen anything like this. I've spent, oh God almighty, 5-6 years in the Big Ten, and some really good, talented Ohio State teams and some great Michigan teams. One that won the national championship in '97. I haven't seen a Big Ten team like this completely. I have not. I've want my years of experience and all the years of Wisconsin when we won the Big Ten. This is an Indiana team, and I'm just trying to think back. You think back to the, Penn State joining the league, Michigan and their great teams that they had.
Yeah.
Players that they've had in Ohio State's. I've never seen a Big Ten team like this that is so complete, playing at that competitive level. And this is what Nick did at Alabama. He's doing at Indiana, and even, like you say, more challenging because you're taking over the worst record team in the history of college football.
That's right.
I never lost to them. Never lost to them. And I can't say that about a lot of teams. And they had some great coaches. Indiana's had good coaches. They really did. They just didn't have good players. It was a basketball school.
Oh, yeah.
They are one of the first basketball schools, and if you're at Carolina particularly, you're going, well, if they can do it, why can't we? Because, Carolina still is the basketball school that, as I've talked to my friends back in the day, there's not a coach that would not have left their job to go coach at Carolina.
Yeah,
because of
right.
recruiting. Because of recruiting. So, yeah, in the Indiana, what was interesting, Rick, when you look at I got my left-hand column of the teams that won and my right-hand column of the teams that lost as I had my notes. And you think Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia. Just when you say those three teams, you're going, come on, 2 out of 3 is going to win these games. At least 2 out of 3. Maybe not all 3. And for sure 1 out of 3, but they're 0 for 3. All 3 of those teams got beat. And you know what? Here's what Indiana and Miami have done. Remember, I'm sure you've seen the movie Miracle about Herb Brooks. And he said, we're going to beat the Russians at their own game.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Indiana and Miami have done to these SEC teams. They have beaten them at their own game where they've taken the physicality in the lines of scrimmages.
Absolutely.
And it's not even close. I mean, here's the difference too. I think you'll appreciate this. I hope the listeners will appreciate this. There's 2 things that I've seen over the last 3-4 decades that have come to this point in college football. And I've seen the changes. One, Rich Rodriguez developing the spread offense. Totally had a big change in college football. Besides the Buddy Ryan 46 defense, had a huge impact in college football and professional football. Still does today. You'll still see it. Most of the people, when it's trying to stop the run, they're going to get into a double eagle look, barrel look, cover the guard center. Everybody gets one-on-one. So whatever. But let me just give you a brief history. When I looked at Miami, and when I got excited and why I texted you and I said, hey, if you need me, I'd love to come on the show.
Sure.
I'm watching this game and I'm going, Jesus, this is the Big East Miami. This is not the ACC Miami.
That's a great point. Yeah.
No, this is the Big East / Jimmy Johnson Miami team. Okay? So people say, oh, they represent the ACC. No. Let me tell you, in the Big East days when I was coaching in the Big East at Syracuse, Virginia Tech, it was a physical conference.
Yes.
West Virginia, Pitt, Virginia Tech, Miami. And I'm telling you what, every game was as physical a conference as it was in the country without really great offensive line talents. Back in the day with Dennis Erickson, Miami's offensive line was very average. And we got to expose that at Virginia Tech. in 93, 94. We exposed how great their skill people, that's how great their skill people were. Their offensive line was still their Achilles heel. And and Mario Cristobal was playing on those offenses.
Yeah, that's right. He was part of those teams. Yeah.
When we lost to him in Syracuse, when they were number 1 in the country, we lost him, I think, 16-14. It was a hell of a game. And he was either guard or tackle. I can't remember. But their offensive line was still average at best. What he has done there, and again, everything falls from, on defense. I'll give you the history of the defense. In 1988, when Jimmy Johnson was coaching at Miami, he changed the way you evaluated talents, because Don James was at the University of Washington. Great coach. They had a bunch of big people on defense, but they were going 6-5. So he visited Jimmy Johnson at Miami, and where now the philosophy of let's recruit big safeties and make them linebackers, make linebackers defensive ends and defensive ends tackles. So you may not be able to recruit speed, but you can create speed. And then the 1989, 90, 91, that's where the Washington defense evolved in the 8-man fronts and just dominated college football, a total domination of college football. There's a record that Washington had in 1990. Out of the 7 starting quarterbacks in the 11 games that they played, 7 of them were either pulled from the game or could not start the next week or were benched. 7 out of the 11. It was and then the opponents would see that. And the quarterback, the week before, the game was lost before it began.
Yeah.
Because the quarterbacks, they're watching these kids get the ever-living crap out of them. So what happened was, the next thing you know, there was a defensive line coach named Bob Carmelowitz at Miami, and he was the one that coached Russell Maryland. And when this thing started, the Miami Mystique defense, back in the 80s and 90s, the defensive line coaches, and Bob Carmelowitz was one of them. So when I get to Virginia Tech in 93, well, that was the plan. We were going to be Miami. We were going to do the Miami thing. And that's exactly what we did. We took linebackers, made them ends, took ends, made them tackle, blah, 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 created really a great speed defense. And the competitive practices of going good against good. These teams that you're seeing dominate, like Indiana and Miami, they go good against good. They're not scout team look teams.
Right.
Iron sharpens iron. Your injuries percentage goes way down when you're good against good, because no one's on the ground. When you're good against good, you got good athletes, good body balance. Very few people are on the ground. You can literally go live and your injuries will diminish. When you go 1s against 2s or 3s or scouts, and if you ever go live, you got train wrecks. You got guys on the ground, and that's where a lot of injuries in practice occur. And, but that's how this, and then when I'm watching Miami now on defense, I went, oh my God, it was like a flashback. I'm thinking this is Big East Jimmy Johnson. This is Bob Carmelowitz coaching the defensive line. Because I had Todd Grantham. I told Todd when I get to Tech, I said, Todd, you are going to spend 3 days with Bob Carmelowitz. We will fly him up here. I will pay for it if we don't have the money to do it, because we're broke. Virginia Tech was broke. When I took the staff out to visit Washington, Bud, Todd, myself, Rod Sharpless, I paid for the flights myself. I just asked Dave, I said, can you just take the hotels? I'll get my frequent flyer miles. I'll get the plane tickets out there, because I got to bring the staff out there to visit with the coaches. But my point being is, watching Miami, gee whiz, that was like, my God. As I've told you and we've gone, I've always had certain things that what's going to affect the outcome of a game. And when and I've always believed in rush attempts. I always have. And even Todd made the point about explosives, and that is a factor. But when you look at rush attempts, explosive turnovers, and third downs and disruptive plays, oh my God, Miami, it was ridiculous. You talk about winning the battles, 37 rush attempts, no run explosive, 2 interceptions. They're 50% offensive on third down, which is ridiculous.
That's crazy. Yeah.
No, it's ridiculous. It's incredible. 40 to 45% is a good day. You start hitting 50 and above, because every third down conversion equates into at least 3 to 4 more plays of offense. Well, if you do 2 third down conversions in a row, you got 6 to 8 more snaps, which will equate into some points, whether it's field goal or touchdown. Just by 2 third down conversions, you have a chance for points. So when you're 7 for 14 on third downs, you're possessing the football and you're giving yourself more opportunities. The more snaps you have, the more opportunities for points. I don't care if you're JMU.
Yeah.
Playing Miami. It doesn't matter. You keep winning those third down battles, you're going to get field goals at least. And then the other thing was the disruptive plays. 1 out of every 5 plays, against they were playing on their side of the line. And that was that formula between Miami and Indiana. Those factors, they dominated the rushing stats, the third downs, the turnovers, the no explosive. Those 2 teams dominated it. What's interesting is the Ole Miss Georgia game. It is so close, and all those statistics that I keep to, as if I was coaching today, what we must do to win a game. That'd be it. Those 5 things. I need disruptive plays. We got to win third down. We got to win the turnover battle. We got to keep it. See, explosive passes. Being a secondary coach, I always have a philosophy about when you have an explosive run, it's 11 guys that are getting their butt kicked. Okay, there's a hat on a hat, and someone's losing battles, and it's a physical battle. When you get a long pass, there's only 2 people that are pissed off.
Yeah,
the secondary coach and the DB.
Right.
No one gets hurt. Okay, and you can overcome that, but you cannot overcome the physicality of these long runs and the continuation of running the ball. This still is a game of a test of wills. This has not left the game. And the coaches like Kirby, all the Nick Saban disciples, the reason why they are who they are is because Nick still, and my growing up with Coach Holtz and Coach Norton and all these, the physicality in the game, I used to talk to Todd. I go, I call it the lead pipe theory. Rick, you get a hold of the lead pipe, I get a hold of the lead pipe. Let's whack each other over the head 10 times and see who's standing. Okay? And it may take the 8th one or the 9th one or the 10th one.
That's true. That's true. Right? One of us will be down. Yeah. If not,
I heard you were a boxer, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You were a boxer, correct? I've heard that, right?
Yes.
Well, you can appreciate it. It is a test of wills.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
And it's still about every team will have a physical break point, and it's your job. If you're a physical team, and that's how you practice, because you don't just become physical on Saturday. This started in January. The biggest kudos to Indiana and Miami are their strength coaches.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys, I don't know who they are, but I know this at Virginia Tech when we had Mike Gentry.
Oh.
I took that job because I knew Mike Gentry was at East Carolina when I was coaching there. And we were when we played Miami in '83, which Snellenberg was the coach, to a man, every team member on that team said East Carolina was the most physical game they ever played.
He's the best to ever do it. Mike's the best to ever do it.
Oh, he was. And when they fired him, that program went to hell.
How did that ever happen? What do we do? Yeah, don't get me started on that whole.
That's another show.
That's another show.
No, that'll be another show.
Woo.
Yeah. So, but that's where Miami you look at the two games that just dominated the other team was the Indiana and Miami, and it was a test of wills.
I thought about you the whole game. Watching them on defense, it's almost like you're watching an NFL team. Yeah. They're never out of position. Did you see all the checking they're doing at the line of scrimmage? Alabama would shift. Yeah. They would move a back or a receiver, and you see 5 or 6 guys immediately with the same – they knew exactly how to react. And the coach, they tackle better than anybody I've seen in a college game. I can't remember.
That's the one thing I know myself personally. I've always prided myself on the tackling abilities. The spread offense makes it harder because your efforts and your pursuit, because big plays don't occur with one missed tackle. It's 2 missed tackles for big plays. Okay, it's not 1, it's 2. All right, and so with the spread, now your pursuit chasing that football is more paramount than ever before. Ever than playing in the phone booth, okay? But it didn't matter whether you're in the spread or you're in a power eye. It's still the tackling fundamentals and the decision and the timing of the tackling, and then the use of your whole body, like in boxing, being able to, when you have that knockout punch, it is so quick that people can't see it sometimes. They go, and it doesn't look like it's, those haymakers. Never hurt anybody.
Fighting is all speed. People get you're exactly right.
When I'm evaluating kids, there'll be kids that'll all of a sudden they have this big hit type thing, and the coaches would come to me, oh God, this guy's real physical. I go, no, he's not. That's called a collision hit. I don't want haymakers. I want knockout punches.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Okay. Which I get to use every fiber muscle in my body, especially the lower legs and the hips. And when I hit this girth, it's going to look effortless on my part.
Watch Mike Tyson fight at any point during his prime. Mike Tyson never threw haymakers. Tyson would kill you right underneath with those quick jabs, those quick little, and then it's over. You see a guy just all of a sudden lose his legs and fall against the ropes. That's because Tyson's hitting him and you didn't even see it.
That's what the good tackling. That's what the great tackling teams do, and you don't have to go full speed. I learned this from John Gutekunst, great coach, defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech back in the night when Bruce Smith was there back in the 80s. And John always told me about tackling. He said, because he was a great baseball player, all his analogies were to baseball. And he goes, it's like baseball. It's like batting practice. It's you're developing timing. It's an object hitting an object, and you're not pitching full speed because you're developing your timing. He said the same thing with tackling, except it's a body hitting a body. I never did full speed tackling drills. I never did. Everything we did was it's all about your eyes. You can't, hey, just like boxing, you can't hit what you can't see.
That's right. Your eyes never lie. Yeah.
It's all about your eyes, and your head's perfectly still, because where the head goes, the body's going to follow. All you have to do with this, Rick, if you did just this, take that head, just take your chin down, that can cause a missed tackle. Okay? And I always stood where I could see their eyes because people, closing your eyes, this, when you get that, when that fist starts coming to your head, you're ready to blink. You got to keep them wide-eyed and open. But the tackling was just tremendous. And you practice. Those teams are a reflection of, one, who they're recruiting, because you got to have guys that love this. They come from this background of mental and physical toughness. You're not born with it. Those things are developed through the high school, particularly through the high school era. And you recruit toughness and physicality. You recruit that. You're not going to develop it, not in college.
No.
If you start developing it, then you're challenging someone's integrity, and you're challenging courage, and you're challenging toughness. You ain't going to last. You're not going to last as a coach. You're a bad guy. You're a bad coach. Recruit it. And so they've done a great job recruiting those kinds of players that when it's time to go 9-on-7 drill, they're excited. And you're going good against good. And when you go good against good, they're really excited.
And all those JMU guys, but a third of the teams, those JMU guys that followed him, right, they have continued to develop. So not only is he great at assessing what you're saying, it's clear that he and that staff are all about developing guys to
Without a doubt.
It's insane.
Without
it's
a doubt.
insane.
And that's the difference. That's when I looked at you look at from my perspective. I've been around coaches. I've been so fortunate, been around great coaches, assistant coaches. Todd Grantham. I mean, nobody developed D-line like him. The timing and the play of the game and how they played with the talent we had. Bud Foster with the linebackers. I mean, it was fun to watch us play the game. And that's when you watch in Indiana, it's fun to watch it. When you watch in Miami, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And that, when it's all said and done, like I said, I think what Indiana did is they beat the SEC at their game. We're up front on both sides of the football. Was an absolute ass whipping.
It was. It's why you play the games. And everybody gets so enamored with recruiting stars. No program in the country had a higher recruiting profile than Alabama over the last 3 years. And they made them look like a high school team yesterday.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I saw one of your comments that the Nick Saban disciples, Cristobal, Lanning, Kurt Signetti, Golden at Ole Miss. They're all, Kirby at Georgia, which was that game could have gone either. It could have gone either way. Yeah. The that's one game. Those stats, those 5 things that I always look at, it is so even. It's ridiculous. But the other games, it wasn't even close. Not even close. But it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch.
How much do you think, and I think there's a lot to it after thinking about it, the bye weeks hurting these teams. You don't want to stop playing football that long, right? I mean, Indiana's the only one to beat the system.
Well, the worst part is, too, sometimes in coaching, the more time, I've always believed this, the more time you have, the more time you waste.
Yeah, right.
And I believe that. I really believe that. The longer the practices, the more time you're wasting time. So, yeah, to me, 1 year at Wisconsin, we went 11 straight weeks with no bye weeks, and we went 10-1 and beat UCLA in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
We had time, but still, we had no open days. And we only had one injury to a starter, and that was it. So now I hated open dates, hated them. Let's go.
Yeah, let's play. Yeah, I'm with you.
Let's go play. I think there's some legitimacy to this. I don't know why they don't just keep playing. The whole thing has to change, as you know.
It's got to change.
We all know this. Why it won't. ESPN and Fox will be making those decisions for us.
Let's say that before we let you go, I got to get. How bad is ESPN for college football? It is.
Well, here's how bad it is, Rick. When you look at a Fox, I don't care. I've mentioned this numerous times with you. I'll take baseball. When Fox does baseball and ESPN does baseball, I have to mute the ESPN baseball.
I said that earlier. I can't listen.
That's all I'll tell you. So and football's no different. The professionalism on the Fox reporting, okay, compared to the ES of the game, not the reporting, but the game.
Right.
The game. It's like I told you, it's Sports Center. It's all, and that's the difference. And you know what's kind of cool? When I was at Syracuse, what was really cool, they had the Newhouse School of Communications at Syracuse, and this was a big deal. I mean, this was the who's who of the Syracuse guys. Costas, Will McDonough, Sean McDonough. Who else was there?
Tirico.
Yeah,
Bill Roth.
Roth. Bill Roth. That's right. And Roth, I'll tell you, Bill, you talk about, I remember being at Syracuse, they used to have this dais of when Jim Brown would come in and John Mackey and talk to all the student athletes, Dave Bing, all these great athletes. Well, let me tell you, that list of the Newhouse School of Communications people is a who's who in sports. Yeah. It is. I can't remember all the guys, but it is as long a list as All-Americans there are at Michigan football players.
Sure.
I promise you. It is so cool. And those guys, when you talk about, Sean McDonough being professional doing a game, they're all like Tirico. He does a great job.
No, Tirico's really good. Yeah.
I think he's excellent, and you look at Costas doing a game in his earlier days.
In his earlier days, yes.
In his earlier days, But yeah, it was kind of fun. So, but it was a great weekend of football. I love it that Indiana. I'm like you. I think Miami, before it's over with, Miami and Indiana.
Feels like it to me. Feels like
it'd be a lot of fun.
And Carson Beck, got to give Beck his flowers. I mean, he's making a lot of money. He's kind of been up and down. Sometimes he comes across a little bit like an attitude problem, but he has really stepped it up in these playoffs, and he's looked like a legitimate high draft pick. He has really taken the team. Yeah.
The thing with Miami, which even Coach Saban mentioned this, and it's true. I mean, they're playing right now as a college team. You can lose one or two games and still have a chance.
Yeah, right.
As this thing expanded. So who in the last 6 games, who's putting the gas pedal down? And basically Miami's success started last January. Okay. Miami's success right now started last January. It doesn't, you just don't come off of 2-a-days. You just don't come off a season or a win to create this momentum. This thing started with the strength coach, the off-season conditioning, spring practice, summer development, preseason, and a couple of losses along the way to reevaluate who are you and what do you want. Anytime I always had a player or a team, the 2 questions: who are you and what do you want? Get those questions answered.
Right.
This isn't hard. Okay? Real simple. Those are the only 2 questions I would ever ask a player or a unit. And I need an answer. Okay? You deserve an answer to the guys. The guy that's sitting next to you deserves an answer.
Yeah.
Who are you and what do you want and how you're going to do this? Okay? Then let's figure this crap out.
I like it. Well, I'm looking forward to when you have time, and I know you will. You're going to scout these semifinal games and get your picks and how this thing's going to go. That's going to be a lot of fun to go.
Yeah, it'll be, like I said, the team that rushes the ball and keeps explosive downs and wins third down battles, and those things can flip. And, sometimes there's no guarantees, but the guarantee is if you don't do these things, you're not winning.
You're not going to win.
That is the guarantee.
That's right.
If you do them, you have a chance. Like you said, you saw a picture of my wife, right?
Yeah.
Just give me a chance.
Well, I was going to say that, your recruiting has always been great, but that may be your best.
Still got it, Rick.
Yeah.
I can evaluate and recruit.
You can evaluate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Hey, enjoyed it.
Thanks, man. Thanks for jumping on. Happy New Year, Coach. Looking forward to continuing with you here in 26, man. It's been great. I look forward to talking with you next week, too.
At least Todd Grantham's employed again.
That's right.
The unemployment rate will go down. Thank God.
Exactly. Thanks, brother. Have a great weekend, Coach.
All right, buddy. Bye.
All right, man. Thank you. Yep. Coach Elmo. How good is he? And yes, for those who've asked, Coach is going to be with us going forward. He's so good. And I'm telling you, he set that pic. They look great, by the way. He and his wife at the New Year's celebration. She is stunning. I mean, she is Coach, she's stunning. Well done, sir. Well done. Keep it coming in the McClellan Chiropractic chat or on our professional door text line as we roll along here. Our first show of 2026. Jen the Gamecock Girl coming up in about half an hour or so. Joining us now. There he is. Happy New Year, Mr. Ashley. How about you, brother? Good to see you.
Where's my big finger and my tutor? And
I don't know. Did you do anything at all for New Year? Do we still do anything at all?
I moved around from couch to couch, upstairs, downstairs, like the PBS series. No, there was football had to be watched. Haven't they made that a federal law or something with the way they've gerrymandered the playoffs and everything?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
Got rid of all the other minor bowl games of that. I mean, well, they're still around, but who cares? Because they've only made these count. So, and I watched them. I did. The only thing missing was I had a flashback to like my youth when I just laid around and watched bowl games on New Year's Day, and you're trying to finish up that Hickory Farms package your family got for Christmas with the sausage and the cheese and the mustard that you'd never heard of before, and you didn't want to eat the cheeses that smelled funny, and you were down to the bad stuff by a week later, but still, it must, if you grew up where I grew up, you had to eat that stuff. Your mom didn't let that stuff slide through the house without, everybody consuming it. So
no, you had to eat it. You had to eat it. You're right. You're exactly right.
And watch the bowl games. So that's what New Year's makes me think of, is watching bowl games I really didn't have much interest in. And Free Farms, that big old gnaw off some big old sausage casing there.
I remember those well. Yeah, absolutely, man. I do. I remember.
Anyway. Right. Yes. But how about you? Did you do anything exciting?
No. I mean, we were in Spartanburg for the Big South opener. Fortunately, they decided to move all the games to the afternoon. It knocked me out of the show that day, but we went down, and Highlanders got a nice win on the road, and we got back. I got back, a little after 8:30, so just kind of chilled. I was a little tired, just kind of let the new year ring in. Didn't really.
How do you describe Upstate's gym? By the way, we've got the Buck Dome in our league. We used to have Carter Gym at Campbell, but there's something unique about Upstate's little tiny building, which they built, I think, after they were at NAI Power.
Yeah,
and their vision was to build. We're going to build a 700-seat arena.
It's okay. They painted it black inside because it used to be this horrible tan. They've got really nice video boards, the scoreboard. They've invested a lot in that. Okay. But I'll tell you the problem that they put down a brand new floor. And we had a problem. They did not remove the firewall from their internet, and the floor is brand new. So nobody could get a signal. I had to use a hotspot just to broadcast. The TV people were very angry. So, and now I have to bring this up with Mark Simpson on Monday. Everybody's like, you got to bring this up. I got to tell on them for not being prepared. And then they didn't have any IT people there because we're during the break, and they couldn't get anybody fixed. So I had to think of something to do, and it was, okay, let's see if we can borrow somebody's hotspot. And it was the only chance we had. If not, I'd have made the trip for nothing, but it worked out. So
which football game was it yesterday where they had the headsets go out on the one team's offense on the I think it was the Alabama game.
Was it the Alabama game? Well, a lot went out on the Alabama offense. So
right. But now I was thinking, like, of all the things that mid majors or smaller teams would have to contend with against the big timers. Now you better have good IT and tech support people there on the sideline so you don't lose your Wi-Fi and stuff during the middle of the game, and you can't communicate with your quarterback and can't you? I see those guys on those little walkie-talkies now, and the coordinators, and I'm wondering, are there people sitting in the stands trying to listen to the game that maybe pick up?
I would race like a NASCAR race.
It's gonna be like Dan Callahan on the sideline. Something right here over to the left. It's gonna be Jones off the left side again. I stood next to him on the sidelines, and the guy knew every play coming because he'd been in every practice and everything. So
the Indiana defensive coordinator the whole game got his sheet and he's talking. You're right, and I had not noticed that until yesterday. He's talking into that little walkie-talkie to, I guess, his spotter. I don't know who it would have been, but yeah.
Over time, when I go out to dinner with friends and their wives even, and I do my hey, here's how an offensive coordinator orders at this menu, orders off this menu at this restaurant. Yes, I think I would like the filet mignon, and the reason I bring up wives is because they understand now. We all watch the same stuff. It's all part of the everybody knows this stuff now. So they even get that joke and laugh. Now the other guys just kick me under the table and say, "Shut up," but anyway. Hey, look, I don't want to hold you up here. I want to start this because it's going to be kind of freewheeling because
let's
go.
I
didn't lay on the couch too much and I didn't really write much.
That's okay. We love the first open mic of 2026. Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I hate to start like this because I didn't really. Anyway, Happy New Year to those running with us here in the Big Dog Park. I had to think yesterday, the first day of 2026 was a lot like most of the days of 2025. I did laundry, I cleaned. We got guests coming, and then I did some touch-up grocery shopping, and the rate of ass busticity in the Wegmans parking lot was high, my friend. That's a measure I'm trying to get recognized by meteorologists like dew point and relative humidity, by the way. Whether or not that happens, I lurch forward in a new year that's a lot more like the same as the last year. Although the U gave us long-suffering ACC fans something to cheer. Take that, Big Ten, as Ohio State goes down and goes down hard. 7 teams that had first-round byes in the last 2 football playoffs got nice parting gifts and went home early. Speaking of home early, here I am back in the Batcave in Fairfax, and Big Dog asked I pick up where I left off last time I was here. That's easy since I rarely clean up down here. 2 desks are a mess, and I had fun looking through my stuff, which is the reason you keep this stuff, so that when somebody asks you something, you can look something up, and then you can have fun looking through your stuff. Anyway, here's back to the brief tour of the Batcave, and I'm gonna see if I can.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if I can pull all this off here, but all right. First thing I found was an old party trick I used to do at homecoming at Radford. It's my IDs in time lapse photography. Let's see. How's that?
Yeah.
1980.
Oh,
Mike Lance from Virginia Western at Radford.
Is that Christopher Cross?
Moffitt softball. What's that?
It is. You were Christopher Cross, weren't you?
No. It gets better. It gets better. First year at Radford. Second year, I look. A little Christopher Cross, but more like that kid that said Borgeschmort on the commercials. Remember him?
Yeah.
And this is all my friend Tim Anderson's fault, my sweet mate who made me laugh as they took my picture. I still remember that.
Look at the
all
hair.
Right. A more mature professional look, I think, there as I begin my first senior year.
Yeah, you're starting to the curl's outstanding, by the way. It's sublime.
Yeah, okay. Here I'm going through midlife crisis early in life there. It's like okay, I'm either going to be a professional sports writer or I'm going to live on the streets. And then back at Radford as an employee, no less. How about that one?
Hey, there we go. Now you're Mike. There's Mike.
Clean up my act, yeah.
And
then further that, after coming back from Virginia Tech in 2 years, this is late 80s. By the way, this first one here, this is the one you can see. I had to get rid of my. I had to get rid of my my Social Security number, which was on the card. But this is the card. Back then, you didn't even slip this card in anything. You just showed it to get into events around campus. You just showed your face and that. Yeah. And I swear to God, I won the 800,000 people Heath costume contest dressed as Batman, and I won because I put a little black paper mache Batman mask over this picture. And when I showed my ID to everyone, I pulled out my utility belt. I had a Batman mask over this.
That's why you are who you are, right there.
People love that, yes. And that I swear to God, that won me that contest. Then I couldn't throw away the Batman mask, so I took the Batman mask, and there was a Roger Staubach card because he led the NFC in passing, and Dan Fouts led the AFC in passing, and not knowing the card would be invaluable someday, I put the mask over Dan Fouts and had it on my bulletin board. Batman leading the AFC in passing, and Roger Staubach leading the NFC. It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. Now, this artifact I dug out yesterday, I had to look for it because I didn't know where it was, but I knew I still had it. How about, can you see that okay?
Yeah, the AC. Oh, wow. Look at that. Is that hardback?
Yeah, well, it's awesome. A hardcover, but it's it's actually cardboard.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
But I love the price, $1.95.
75, 76. That's cool, man.
It is. This is the first one I bought, but it wasn't the first ACC handbook. I opened it up to this page so people could see this. How about Bill Brill covering Virginia Tech for the
Bill
ACC
Brill,
handbook?
more than nitpicking. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, there's the Hokies. Who's that? Who's number 33?
Duke Thorpe. Yeah.
Duke Thorpe. I love that uniform.
Oh yeah, me too. And I love this book. There's UVA. Barry Parkhill. Is that Coach Gibson? Was that who that was?
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Anyway, at that time, I memorized these as I'm sure you did with a lot of rosters over your life too. I memorized all this so that I could replay games in my backyard and do play-by-play.
Who was the Tech roster? Who was the Tech roster that year?
Oh boy, yeah, you're right. Okay, let's see. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Sam Foggin, Dave Sensabaugh, Ron Edwards, Larry Cook, Marshall Ashford, Duke Thorpe, Russell Davis, Kyle McKee, Mike Collins, my favorite, Phil Thieneman, and Ernest Wansley. And I remember all those guys, yes.
Wow.
Sam Foggin seemed to have a special place. He was a big lumbering beast, and Dave Sensabaugh was a heady little guard. The worst thing about these guys, though, they were not the NIT team of a couple years before that won the championship with Alan Bristow and Bobby Stevens and those guys who were my real heroes, right? So
yeah, absolutely, great coaches,
Okay, I do have a lot of these ACC, and like last time, people want to reach out if you need one of these and the price is right. It can be yours.
It can be had.
Right now, fast forward to me actually going out and going places. How about this one? This is a 1995 Game 6 World Series program. Can you see that?
Sweet. Yeah, I do see that.
I was there. Yes, my nephew procured me tickets. He lived in Atlanta at the time, and I was down on a bus trip to see the Cowboys play Atlanta. And
wow!
And I gets on a Friday night to go see the World Series, and then on a Saturday night, and then the next day I saw Deion Sanders' first game with the Cowboys.
Is that Atlanta and Cleveland, 895?
Very good, very good, very good.
Is that
yes,
right?
And yes, you're right, and that was Game 6. That was Tom Glavine's one hitter through 8 innings, 2-0 win that won the World Series for the Braves. So me, a vocal Braves detractor of the time, actually got to see them finally break through and win the World Series. I don't know what that means in the world of karma. I do know this though, that my friend in Roanoke, Ken Brickey, who I used to in my column call the smartest man in Roanoke because of insights like this. He summed up the Roanoke Valley sports Atlanta Braves experience with one simple comment. He said, if the Braves ever win the World Series, there won't be enough shelf space in Walmart. Yes, it's so brilliant. You have to think about it for a second, but that was so true. Okay, now I didn't even remember this, but here, if you can read that, what it says up top: final series at Memorial Stadium, the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, sweet! Right before Camden, yeah.
Right. This was 1991, and I actually saw my first pro game, and I didn't get to see a pro game until I was in college, a real live pro game. And a friend of mine talked me into going up to Baltimore, and we went to Memorial, and then I made it a annual trek during the summers. And this was back when I was a really nice guy, because I got my best friend who's a big Orioles fan. I couldn't get tickets to the last game, but we were at the last Orioles win in against the Tigers there on the day before the last day. But of course, you never find footage of that. You always find stuff of the last day and pictures. And anyway,
yeah, right.
It was a nice try by me. Okay,
that's cool.
This was
that's
with
cool.
It too. Again, Orioles fans, reach out.
There's Brooksy.
Because my friend his wife doesn't let him collect stuff, so he can't use any of this stuff. But look at all these guys on this game program from '89.
There's Frank Robinson. Wow. Yeah.
Brooks, Earl,
Brooksy,
everybody.
Yeah. Mark Belanger's got to be on there somewhere.
Yeah. It makes me, I wish I was more of an Orioles fan, but they're okay,
Al Bunbury, wow.
Yeah, but then then I had to put up with Campbell in the black and orange, so
Yeah, I understand.
This is interesting, and only geeks like me and you, Rick, would know what this is. These are game notes.
Yeah.
Yes, from the NCAA regional, George Mason versus Connecticut.
Final Four year. Sweet.
Right. There's a program in here. There's box scores from those games. Just all kinds of stuff. Here's that Mason team that was incredible, really. And just I became a made man with Jim Larinaga because he knew because I was like following for years there when he was at Miami, and I could always say, yeah, I covered that team at Mason. So, which I did. I got sent down to do a preview for the Final Four, and so there I was on press row typing up my Connecticut story because I figured, cool. Okay, this stuff has to be over. And nope. Hank came back, hung on, won the game. Fortunately, I knew people in the SID office, and they gave me all these great background stories that when I went to interview after the game, and I had about 2 hours after the game to write 2,000 words previewing George Mason. And that was an important preview because most people around the nation probably didn't know anything about him. So I got all that. And I wrote one of my favorite leads in a story of all time. I went, George Mason, Cinderella got invited to the big dance and she just wouldn't go home.
You wouldn't go home. That's right. That's awesome.
Then of course there was this Christmas. Well, I always remember as the year, can you see Troy there?
Yeah, the starting lineup. Yeah.
Troy went down with an injury. He was out for the
Oh,
Christmas
Troy.
season.
Oh, my Lord. Troy.
Troy fell down my steps.
Who knew? He's been prosthetic.
I had the tree sitting there, and Troy went down, and he went down hard, too. Okay. I skipped through my books quickly last time. Let's see here. I wanted people to note that the baseball, there's some overview books, but then they sort of go chronologically with the 08 season. That Crazy 08 is a book I highly recommend about that season. That's Merkel's Boner there. And that's Nothing Obscene, gang. If you don't know what that is, read up, okay? The Glory of Their Times is an acclaimed book from the early years.
Yeah.
I've
read that one.
8 Men Out is maybe one of my favorite books of all time. So I highly recommend that one. In fact, rather than, watching sports now and certainly reading about them because it's harder with so little newspaper coverage, I recommend some of these books reading about the old times because things were more special then. It meant more. And newspaper coverage, you got to remember when Babe Ruth was playing early in his career, there were 17 daily newspapers in New York competing, trying to get the best Babe Ruth information in the paper each day. So anyway, and here we get more into Sandy Koufax. That's Willie Mays. I consider that 60s. Say hey, Hank Aaron, and then my Big Red Machine. I got some books on that. I haven't read a lot of those, although that book, The Machine by Joe Posnanski, is awesome. Awesome.
He was a great sports writer. Posnanski's great.
Yeah, and he has a blog spot that you should Google, and people that like baseball, you can go up and get a newsletter from him. It comes every day and it's free. And then you can pay and get a better newsletter, and you can pay and get even a better newsletter. But I'm too cheap for that, so I'm playing out my option. Okay, over here, not only Mike Ashley coaching the North Salem Cavaliers back in the day. Then we've got our basketball books. So this is a lot of Roland Lazenby.
There's a lot of Roland books there. I got that Jerry West book there signed. Yeah.
I heard he was on your show recently, which I'm very happy about.
He came on a couple weeks ago. He was great. Yeah, he wants to come on all the time. So we're going to work that out.
Virginia State Hall of Fame as
correct
as a freelance sports writer, which is just incredible if you think about it. And I won't get into all the stuff I know about this because I know a lot. Because I met Roland right after this book came out, Ralph Sampson, Life Above the Rim. That was his first one, which he did when he was a news writer at the Roanoke Times. And there was a lot of people at Roanoke in media didn't like Roland because he was doing this on his own. And they should have been doing it. If you wanted to, wanted to be the wrote the Sampson book, hey, you guy that
you should have written it. You should have written it. Right.
But,
such a smart guy.
Roland has risen above all that, and he is such a great writer and has been such a mentor, not only to me but to others with his teaching at Virginia. John Feinstein too. I probably need to mention him.
God rest his soul.
Loss that was.
That was a huge.
And
loss.
I got to obviously being up here, I got to meet Feinstein and get to know him a little bit more. He was best pals with the aforementioned Bill Brill, and actually, one of the silly highlights of my career was when they had a roast for Bill Brill at the end when he retired from the Roanoke Times. At that time I was doing stand-up comedy. I was invited to roast Bill Brill. So here's the kid that grew up a Virginia Tech fan, and I don't have to explain to older Virginia Tech fans what that means in relationship to Mr. Brill, and then was later the SID at a small school in New River Valley, fighting for every scrap of coverage we could get from Bill Brill's editorship at the paper. And I got to roast Bill Brill, and I really had a good time with that.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Let's just say that. Yeah. So anyway, there's all those books. Now around the corner, I have David Halberstam books, and I love David Halberstam, who we lost too early. Died in a car wreck in San Francisco, working on another book. But Halberstam, I first read The Breaks of the Game, which is aged now. That's a book about the Bill Walton Portland Trailblazers after they'd won the championship, and then Bill got hurt, and that began that trajectory of his career. And it was there was so much in that book about, being a beat writer, or you saw how beat writers work, and that just made me want to be a sports writer more. But since then, his historic baseball books, October 64, and Summer of 49 is one of my favorite books too, because he just captures that time when radio and television were starting to take, radio I guess already, but versus going to live events, and television was starting to take over, and everything was going to change. Ask the Big East Conference how that works.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. All right, here's some other stuff. I may have showed you this shelf before. I got my Hank Aaron Slurpee cup. Got George Reeves and Noel Neal there.
Is that Johnny George Reeves, a Superman? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Johnny Yu, my brother's, my oldest brother's favorite player, and I learned a lot about football through him and his stories about Johnny Yu. And I have a special place for the George Reeves Superman, because I was a latchkey kid before it was fashionable, and went next door to the neighbors, and old Mr. Lucky Doo, we sat and watched Superman every day about 4:00. I remember that. And really, I just wanted to get older so my mom would let me go home next door to my own house where all my stuff was. See, I love stuff. I got stuff. Yeah. There's Roger at the
Roger Dodger.
Yeah. Brian Hoffman from the Salem Times Register used to go up and take pictures of the Washington-Dallas game every year and publish them in the Salem Times Register. And Brian Hoffman is another mentor of mine, the sports editor there. Let me just explain this. If you're from Pulaski, Dan Callahan. If you're from Salem, Brian Hoffman. Brian Hoffman was one of the great sports writers, and in his columns, he often referred to himself, growing up in Philadelphia, as the Little Wilt fan. So that tells you everything you need to know. He's a
Dracula book? Look at you.
Yeah.
Is that a Hardy Boys book?
These are old. I just like the old books right here. How about the Mel Ott story? And how about a bio on Comiskey? Oh,
wow.
This Sandy Koufax book is autographed, and there aren't many of those. There's 100 Pete Rose autographs around. I've got most of that. No, I mean, there's like thousands. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Pete Rose autograph. And I've got two myself, and never met the man. So anyway, but I got those. Let's see. Oh yeah, I showed this last time, but you got to love this. I got a Roanoke Dazzle hat, Avalanche.
The Roanoke Dazzle hat is awesome. Yeah.
Right. The Noke. Scott Bennett just gave me that this year. DBJ, and then we get into Radford. There's a Salem Redbirds original cap. And I really do have quite a collection of Radford baseball caps. I don't have all of them, though. I do not have the first Radford Club baseball hat, which is terrible since I started the club.
I was going to say, come on, man.
That first baseball cap looks like this with no logo, just blue.
Just a blue cap with nothing on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all we could afford. We were.
Well, I understand.
And we were paying for that ourselves. That was how we got baseball started. Let's see here. I don't know if I talked about this ball. The Homeboys defeating Ted Weber. The Homeboys were what my softball team I was coaching at the park every day. My first job. You get out of school. I was actually still in college, and you go in at 10 o'clock and you work till 4 o'clock at a park where you're.
That's cool.
Playground supervisor, and that was the playground I grew up on, Conehurst. And there was a bitter moment for my youth when I launched a fly ball deep to left center, like 37 outfielders out there, and it was the championship game. And some girl had the ball, hit her glove, and it fell. And I was going to knock in the winning runs with this shot, and it went down her chest, and she caught it between her legs.
You're kidding me.
Nope. I was
Sounds like a burlesque show.
Yeah, was that Joe DiMaggio that kicked the dirt when he went around the base there in the World Series?
That was you. Yeah.
But anyway, I came back all these years later coaching my guys at the park that we played, and the reason those jobs were great. There was like a girl and a guy at the park, usually college age, and the guy. I'm trying to get better light here. Anyway, no, that's not it. There. Get that big head in the way. So the young kids would come to the park and play games at the picnic table under the tree, and I would take the older kids. Most of them usually showing up after lunch, and we go out and play a big softball game every day. And then they said, "Hey, we're going to have a tournament," and so I got to coach my team to a championship. That was my first championship, I think. That in the Baptist Church non-denominational volleyball championship we won. I went and recruited this tall kid in my neighborhood who was cornbread. He played basketball sort of like Cornbread Maxwell, only he was no good. So we called him Cornpone, and Cornpone let us
not cornbread.
I would get the ball up the net to him, and he would spike it. And life was good. I don't know what else I got all. Oh, how about here's an I Beat Brill cup. Remember those?
Yeah, I do. I do kind of remember.
Everybody had one of those. I got a Winston Cup Series.
That's kind of cool.
Sort.
Yeah.
Yep. I got there's Mitch Williams, who pitched in Salem for the Redbirds, but is more famous for giving up that home run in the World Series to Joe Carter.
Home run. Yeah.
Right.
You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life, Joe.
Very good. How about Old Cowboys? That was my middle brother's.
Is that Roy Rogers?
He loved cowboy movies and stuff, and this was his, and so I put it on my mantle for him. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh,
hey, Paul said Paul Hottauer said he sent the Johnny Oates old Phillies Radford jersey.
Oh,
to Andy.
Nice. Yeah. See Buddha here?
Yeah, I do see Buddha with the Reds hat on. Yeah, old Reds batting helmet.
The baseball hat, and I guess that the mask is a remnant from COVID. That Buddha was my wedding gift from the Taylors, Chuck Taylor.
That's cool.
He said he got Buddha and he thought of me. I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, yeah,
because I was calming. I was calming for Chuck. So anyway, I guess that's the whole tour now.
Wow, that's good. And remember, if you want one of these items, just hit Mike Ashley up at BR549.
Hey,
BR549.
I had a great time talking to a lot of people. Hey, I'm easy to find on social media. So if you and seriously, I am eventually going to have to get out of here, and I can't take all this stuff with me. And I want it to go to good homes, people that would appreciate it. It's what I want more than anything.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
No, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thanks for the tour, man.
Last time I had the high school programs, and I threw in a Mid-Atlantic Championship wrestling program, and some people were very interested in that. And it was great. And if nothing else, I just had great conversations there for a while with people about that stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, come on.
And that's what this show's about, right?
That's it. It's about having conversations. Exactly. That was awesome. Thank you. Good way to start the new year.
Okay. Hey, well, here's what you need to know. I am packing up the Conestoga wagon and taking the in-laws back to Texas starting Monday. Go get them this weekend and bring them back here to Fairfax. And then I go to Knoxville that first day. Then it's down to Meridian the next day. And I suspect I will be, for next Friday's show, you'll get me live from Beaumont, Texas.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, and then I got to get all the way down to Harlingen, where I dropped them off at a rental down there in the same neighborhood they used to live in. And Mike returns home and has a few weeks to myself. Which time by February I hope to be down in Radford for a lot of basketball games, while they get to go to warm weather and I get to come back and get back into college basketball.
Okay, good stuff. All right. Well, listen, my friends, have safe travel. Looking forward to talking with you from Texas. That'll be great. It'll be fun.
Yes. And Goober says, have a happy new year.
All right. Well, happy new year to Goober. Thanks, Fed.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, Mike Ashley. That was great, man. That was a great trip down memory lane. That's cool stuff, man. Now, Jen says she's not in she's telling me that it's telling her she's backstage, but I am not getting information that she is backstage. Jen might still be having a New Year's hangover. Yeah. Supposed to be. No, I'm not sure where she is. Hang on. We got to work this out with her. She's not in the studio, though. You know, Mike and Coach Elmo didn't have a problem. We're still waiting on Jen. She's in panic mode here. I'm getting lots of texts. I don't know why she can't get in. Hey, Morris, Happy New Year. From the New Year's bells still ringing in Rick's ears to the Palm Coast champagne buzz still kicking in down here, BDST Network is live and online in spite of Morris. Yeah, you're a little late this morning. Morning. Yeah, it was cool, wasn't it, Prometheus? That was, man. That was Mike, all that stuff, man. And a lot of it we recognize immediately and put yourself there. That was cool. Mike's got some great stuff. Great stuff. Jen is still not here. I don't know what's happening, but she is not in. It was kind of like us trying to get a broadcast out from upstate on Wednesday. So they have firewalls. So everything that we use is through Ethernet, and TV uses Ethernet. Well, they had firewalls up, but they didn't have a IT person there to help get you hooked up. So everybody was just trying to come up with hotspots to broadcast. It was bizarre. Oh, yeah, we put the new floor down, but we didn't remove the firewall. Oh, well, that's a little detail you might want to fix. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Jen. Don't know what's up. I've sent the invite to her twice. But that's on her end because we just had Coach Elmo and we just had Mike. So that's not from my end. Oh, there she is. Oh, she's just jumped on here. Now she's in the green room. I'm going to take away the orange juice and brownies, though, since you were late. You don't get them. There she is. What's going on? Did you forget how to sign in?
The whole process changed, and it kept saying I was backstage, and then I thought you weren't letting me in.
What do you mean the whole process changed?
The whole thing is different on my side. I don't know what upgrade occurred, but I thought I was good to go, and apparently not. Sorry.
Well, Mike and Coach Elmo didn't have a problem. I'm just saying. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
You gorgeous hunk of female you. What does that say? Counting down to 2026 Gamecock football. Look at you. Look at you. Always optimistic. Even though it's
that's the life of a Gamecock fan.
I know. Hey, where's the saxophone? We ready?
Did you see my Facebook post?
No. What happened?
I had a problem with my saxophone at the game yesterday. I went to play the women's basketball game because we've got a lot of students out. We need a little help. And my mouthpiece slipped out of my bag and fell onto the concrete floor at the Coliseum at our arena.
Yeah.
And so I don't have my favorite mouthpiece, and I'm crushed. I've played on that mouthpiece since I was in 10th grade at Christiansburg. So this is a really
that's an emotional
big
thing. Yeah,
it is, and I'm very upset about it, and it's can't really easily be replaced because it's vintage.
How did it crush? How did it get crushed? It's just as soon as it hit.
Yeah, it's not good on the concrete like that. So
Well, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I'm sorry too. Like all my best performances playing in Europe, playing like at the embassy, the American embassy in Switzerland, playing all my successful college auditions, my Virginia All-State audition that was successful. Like everything is tied to it. And it's emotional. So anyway, I'm sorry I can't play today.
No.
So I've got to go try to find some kind of replacement. I have a few backup things and I have a jazz mouthpiece, but it's a different setup. I know this is going to sound ridiculous to people who don't know.
Well, no, it's interesting. We're learning.
So anyway, like each one of them, like I know it doesn't seem like to the average person who doesn't play, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but they're all cut differently on the inside. Like they have different chambers and it affects your sound and the airstream and different openings and tips. So to find something like that was made in the 80s, like trying to find another one is really, really difficult or something similar. So it's a big process. And
we'll give you another week and then hopefully you'll have something in place next week because people want to hear Careless Whisper.
Actually, I needed to hear that. That's kind of a good reality check because I've been super upset about it. And
I guess there's no way to fix it. I mean, I guess the way you're describing it, there's no way to fix it, right?
I don't think so. I reached out to all my sax expert people who know a lot more than I do. And they wanted to know more about where it broke and how it's broken because there's a slight possibility it could be repaired, but it might not be the same if it were repaired. So
yeah, I get it.
I'm going to try that.
I'm very sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Now I get what you're saying. It's like we get new headsets from time to time, and there's one that's always the headset that I use, right? You're like, well, they're all the same. Well, no, they're not. Just don't worry about it. You've got one that you just fits your ear and the way it sounds, and I want that one. And I always mark it. I leave like the little orange tag on it. And I'm like, that's mine. You use the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big thing. Yeah. So, exactly. And it's an emotional thing because, when I got that mouthpiece, my dad was with me and I was so excited. Like, I just, there's a lot tied to it and a lot of.
I understand. Hey, I get it. No, I get it. I hate that happened. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Well, sorry, but I'm utilizing all my network. I've already done searches online and I could not find one online. And I have some people who are real deep into this stuff who will try to help me find one. Like probably some older collector kind of person has a lot of these pieces and I might be able to convince them to let me have one, or I don't know. It's going to be a few $100 for sure to get another one.
Well, that's just sock money for you. Come on.
Might be a GoFundMe down the road. I don't know. But when it happened too, it was terrible because we were getting ready to go out and play the game. And then I don't have a mouthpiece. So I just had to leave. And that's a letdown too, because I didn't want to just stand there with the band and with my horn and play.
All right. Well, we'll build it up next week. We'll preview it all next week and we'll have you on. We'll have you on when you're ready next week. So hopefully you'll have it repaired by then.
Well, I'm still determined to have a good year and not let this be.
Could be an ominous, yeah.
So I'm going to, hopefully I will find another one really quickly, and then that'll be my good juju to start off the year.
Well, on the bright side, your hair looks great.
Do you like it like this?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So like every once in a while I'll fix it like this, and I'm not sure if I really love it or not. So I welcome the feedback to determine.
I think it's nice. No, I think it's good.
It's very soft feeling. It's really soft.
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah, I bet it is.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm glad you like. It's like sometimes I look at it and I'm like,
No, it looks great. It looks great. Peeps, what do you think? Give Jen some support with her hair. Come on, chat. Chat understands. By the way, they're disappointed. They want to hear you. We'll just wait a week. We'll get her on next week. TLB says he'd settle for a kazoo. Wayne's asking what type baritone. He said he played tenor sax.
Oh, Wayne, tenor's my favorite. And I have all the saxophones, but tenor is my number one go-to. I feel like it's my voice. It's got like a little husky timbre, and it's a little more sultry. Like I feel like alto's brighter, sound. Tenor's a little more, got a little more warmth to it. So
everybody's saying they love the hair. Brian says, tell Jen we can see the softness.
Yeah, like seriously, and it feels all shiny. See? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate somebody noticing and caring.
It is shiny.
Other than Holly, because Holly and I talk about hair all the time. We'll send pictures like, how's this look? Do you like it? So
yeah, we need in-depth recorded conversations of the talks you and Holly have. I think that'd be great for the show.
That would be a whole nother podcast.
Yes, it would. That would be.
What's funny is Holly does not like football at all. All
right. Well, we could just have you guys on to talk about other things. That'd be awesome.
Like if I told her about the mouthpiece thing, she'd be sympathetic, but she's like, so
people already running out to subscribe. When's that going to happen? When's a new show? Jen and Holly.
We do have a good time. We do have fun.
Yes, this I know.
Yeah.
Or this I've imagined.
She knows. She knows the secrets and where the keys are for the locks and the stuff to get rid of. A guy in a car accident. She knows where to go and what to do.
Well, everybody likes the hair, so there you go.
Okay, good. Thank you. Well, that's positive. I'm looking for some positivity because I've had the sad day, so I understand. I need that.
Well, hopefully we can help. Hey, that 21 saying, Jen, what inspired you to get into music? That's a good question. I don't know if I know the answer to that.
Well, there are two parts of this. Number one is I have an older brother who was in the Christiansburg band program, and he had started in it, and I loved hearing him, and I loved the whole experience through him. And I don't know if anybody out there remembers Mr. Wall. He's still doing well, and I think he lives in Blacksburg, but he was an influential teacher for both me and Neil in band, and very encouraging. So I'm going to give him some props. He got us both into music. And once I saw Neil played trumpet and brass and baritone brass instruments. So I did not want to play that because I didn't want to get his old instrument. I didn't want my parents to be like, oh, here, you can have his instrument. We'll buy him something fun. But I definitely wanted to play something that was in jazz band. So sax was the next thing. And I feel like it was the perfect choice for me. But our parents both were big music lovers. My dad was self-taught on piano. He taught, kind of taught himself. He took piano lessons at University of Delaware, but kind of taught himself some piano skills. And they listened to Miles Davis, John Coltrane. They listened to all the good stuff growing up. And so I heard that too. And I wanted to do that kind of music.
No, that's very cool. Look at you.
Did you know I started on piano at Radford, actually, in their community music program in 3rd grade. They had a piano camp at Radford. I don't think they have it anymore. I don't think they do as much community music in that specific niche anymore. But that was my first thing, and I loved playing piano. And it just felt like my thing. Like music just attracted me. I know your son plays, right, Ben?
He does. He does. And to blatantly brag on him, he played a classical piece at I won't call it a recital, but they had a final grade where you performed an actual physical piece, and he played and got the only A in the class. I want to say it was I think it was a Beethoven or Mozart, one of the two. And I'm just like, wow, really? You're playing classical music? For you.
Is he still playing? Because does UVA Wise have music?
Yeah. He's got 2 classes that he actually takes around it. And he's got his piano here that we took down to Wise and set it up for him in his room. So yeah.
Once it's in your blood, never leaves.
Yeah, he's good. He's getting better. He doesn't do it full time, but when he wants to focus on it, really, he's still developing it. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, that's the best relationship. It's just part of your life. Like you can be an engineer, you can do anything, and it's just part of your life. And once you start in that, your brain never shuts that down. Like I'll be in a restaurant talking with someone and a tune comes on that I really love. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah. Shut up. Just shut up.
So like for me, anything with a horn line, like Chicago, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Tower of Power. I hear any of those tunes come on, I just got to have a moment to appreciate and get in the groove with that.
Well, it blows me away, you musicians, that you can just do stuff. You don't have to have the music. A lot of times you're just going in your head, right? And he'll sit there and he'll be like, I think it goes like this. And there's nothing. I'm just like, how do you do that? And because you just hear it. Is that right? You just start to hear it. Your brain kind of transfers it over to your ear. And he says it comes out your hands because you're sitting there thinking about it. That's the best way he described it. So I'm like, okay.
Well, like for someone like him who can play keyboards like that, he probably has a really, really good ear to do that, because you're not just hearing one, like on the sax, like I just have to hear one note in the whole canvas of music. Like for someone like him, he's got to hear harmony and like figure out the bass line, and it's a much more complicated process. So that's a real credit to him and his music brain that he can do that.
Yeah, he was playing Amarina. I don't know if you know that song by Elton John.
I don't know it.
Well, when we're done, you should go on your Spotify and focus on the piano part. And he was just sitting there free falling. I was like, really? When did you learn that one?
He's probably got perfect pitch. So like he can probably hear a note and then go to the keyboard and play that exact note and recognize
that's what he said. Yeah,
okay.
That's what he can hear it and then just go, okay.
Yeah, I don't have perfect pitch, and it's rare. I mean, it's a really special thing when people have it. So good for him.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. Seriously. I know how that feels. I understand people here in chat. Prometheus saying he uses his dad's equipment in his job. I know I still have all my dad's pocket knife collection. He willed that to me. I haven't resharpened them because he sharpened them the last time, and I don't want to go out and do it. They're still so sharp from when he did it because he took he gave me, there was a set of 5 of them, and I'd like alternate and use them. And I don't want to change. I don't want to sharpen them because he was the last one to do it. So I get it. I understand.
Yeah, highly emotional. And like that particular mouthpiece and the horn that I bought my family bought together. We drove to DC. We saw an ad in the Washington Post, like back when people were looking at those classified ads in the old school print, and drove up. And as soon as I saw that horn and that mouthpiece, I was like, yeah, definitely, that's it. But my dad had counseled me not to act too excited because he was going to try to haggle with the people. And I did a pretty poor job of that. So later he was like, you got way too excited. I couldn't get any price. But, it's a fun memory. And again, all my successful auditions and performances from 10th grade at Christiansburg to now have been really with that mouthpiece when I'm not in a jazz setting. I have another one again that I play for jazz, but.
Well, maybe you can get it repaired enough to where you can put it like in a case or something, and just have it there and remember, and not have to just toss it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. Or just keep it. Like I try not to keep a bunch of sentimental stuff that I don't need
But that sounds different. That one sounds different to me. That sounds like that's more. Yeah.
It's a big, big thing. So I did not cry, but I definitely thought about it. Like I was tearing up a little bit, and I'm like, ugh, boo.
Well, I'm imagining you like dropping and going, oh, tragic. I could just see tragic being the first word in your head. I don't know why.
Well, I did kind of like, that's my makeup. Tragic. I'm not like a big drama person. And so.
Oh, no, you're not. You're always just.
So yeah, it happened. And then I was very businesslike about it. I was like, oh gosh, because like the whole corner of it fell off. And then I went out to the stands where the band was because I had been back there fiddling around with it. And I went out there and I was like, does anybody have an extra mouthpiece for tenor? Nobody had one. And so, well, I'm going to have to leave. My mouthpiece broke. And they were all like, because everyone knew.
They understand what that means. Yeah.
What a big thing that was. So, but yeah, I just kind of quietly accepted it and started to get on eBay and like look for that exact mouthpiece. But
it'll come. You'll find it. You'll find it. It'll happen.
I'm putting out the good karma so that maybe one will come to me.
Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen. Well, something else that's getting broken is this false vibe that the SEC is so far superior than everybody else in college football.
Oh, that's
how's that for a segue?
Well, yeah, it's been a little bit of a tough ride for the SEC, although I've got to look at our bowl standings. Last time I checked,
not good.
I was doing
Are you
pretty
doing?
well.
Are you doing well? Are you
Last
doing
time
well?
I checked, because Paul Hightower sent me a screenshot, and I was number one for, through the weekend. I don't know where it is
number
now.
one. You're number one with a bull, always.
Well, that's sweet, but I don't know about all these SEC losses because I'm sure I picked a good number of them. I'm not sure I am right now.
Yeah.
Are you pulling it up to see?
Well, no, but I will. Let me look. Let me look and see.
I saw you were not. None of us were really doing great. I think I had like everybody. There's been so many shocking outcomes.
I was in the wrong section. Let me see. That's a good idea. I haven't looked at it. I have not looked at it. It probably isn't going well because we just don't know. Oh yeah, I'm doing horribly.
Horrible is a dramatic word.
Oh my Lord, I'm really bad. I'm like I have an under 500 record.
Even the top people don't have great percentage because there've been so many weird things happening.
I'm in 17th place. What's your name? What's your name here?
I miss Thick Lane K.
Okay, well you're tied for first.
Okay.
Miss Thick Lane K. I love it. Now you're tied for first. Yeah, good job. So you're still right there despite your SEC love. Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Well,
but you've watched Alabama a lot. I've not seen Alabama completely mistreated like they were yesterday by Indiana. That was staggering. And the best part of it is you send a text out, hey, you know what? You've got a new crush now. And I think it's probably correct because he's the best coach in college football.
I'm totally in love with Cignetti. Completely. And the more I watch him, the more enamored I am with him. I want to be his Carolina sunshine to balance his vibe. And I think it would work. I think we'd be good together. But I understand he's actually married to someone else, which is usually the case with my crushes. So.
Did you see? He's so good. It's crazy how his evolution here as he's gotten older. I was once told he was too old. It's crazy how he it's just the camera caught him when Alabama tried to go up early in the game and fool them and jump them offside on 4th and 1. And he's just like, we're not going to do that. And then they went for it. A panic move and they shut him down. He was almost like he was offended that he's trying. And I love what he said after the game when the stupid ESPN reporter, how did you keep your guys from being overwhelmed by the moment? And he's like, should we be overwhelmed because our name is Indiana? I thought that was, and she just, what a great answer that was. It's like, well, we're called Indiana and we're not, he didn't say because not part of the ESPN's partnership. And that's why you think that? Come on. But anyway.
It's very cool. I love his quiet strength and those little zingers that he brings like that. I love he's not the typical like golf course guy and like all the like traditional football coach things that you see. Like he's just his own person. He's an individual.
Well, and it was kind of unique when the post, they always have that special Rose Bowl trophy presentation where they dump the flowers out of the cup on the coach. And then he did like the Hoosiers cheer that they have. And he had not ever done that. And that got people fired up after that. So that was pretty cool.
It is cool. I like that he's something different and he is reveling in that and not trying to be like everybody else and kicking ass while he's doing that. That's why I'm in love with him.
It's the best coach college football team I can remember seeing. It's been a long time. They look like a pro team. The way they are coached and conditioned, it reminds me of an NFL team, and that says a whole lot. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I appreciate too that he's not all caught up in the social media stuff and like doing TikToks and I really appreciate he has an intellectual smart approach to everything. It's refreshing. Like I feel like our society, the more visual it gets with social media prominence, everything else, people are so much more superficial. I don't like any of it. And I love that he is against what all that means. Like he's something completely different and authentic. He's authentic. He's genuine. he's not concerned about what everybody else is doing, trying to do it.
No, doesn't care. Doesn't. And the story he told when he got the contract extension, now he's up amongst the highest paid coaches in the game. He was working on whatever opponent. This was like the second or third game away from the end of the regular season. And so the AD knocked on the door, was like, Coach, sorry to bother you, but we'd kind of like to go ahead and we have approval here. We really want to make sure you're here for a long time. And we have a contract proposal. And he said he just looked up and he goes, okay, that sounds nice. Go contact my guy. I mean, his agent.
Mm-hmm.
He'll talk to me, and then I need to finish this. He wasn't being rude, but he's like, we think we've just found something for our game plan. I don't know who they were playing that week, And he goes, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Agent said, this is what they came to me with. We got all the incentives worked out. Do you agree with this? He said he glanced over and goes, yeah, let's go ahead and sign it. No, like you're just saying, no big deal. No, like, hey, look at me. That's great. I want to be here long term. They gave me my chance at a Power 4 job, and I'm going to be in Indiana. He won't leave Indiana. He'll retire at Indiana unless he goes to the NFL, which I don't think he will. So
I love it. I love that he is something different, and I hope that he's an influencer in that way, that maybe it'll help.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope
some of the other coaches kind of get away from some of this cheese-tastic image related stuff and kind of get back to some execution and some fundamentals and get back to the intellectual side of strategy and game planning, because I don't know. I think that's part of, we all knew NIL was going to change things, but it's nice to see some integrity and authenticity still out there and thriving. So let's do more of that.
Well, I think you'll appreciate this. It reminded me, the first team I could think of was your old Redskins. Like when Joe Gibbs, when you guys were dominating the late 80s and early 90s, they never beat themselves. And they were always so well, everything was just so well coordinated with that amazing coaching staff and with Joe Gibbs. And I was trying to think, who do they remind me of? And that's who Indiana kind of reminds me of, a little bit. Just kind of the way they go about their business. And I don't know if they'll be able to bring it home. Maybe they have a bad game. Maybe Mendoza throws 5 picks in a game and they can't overcome it. But right now, watching them, what they did yesterday to Alabama, if there's anybody in the country who still doubted this program, then you don't understand anything about the game of football, because that team is the best team in the country, and it's not even close. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it really is rooted in the concept of team and great leadership, just going back to the basics and preparation, intelligent planning. I admire it so much. I miss that.
Well, and you hit it on the head. And this whole me, look at me, guys sitting there doing contract signings because they're going back to their school. It's all about me. I don't see any post-play celebration. Did you notice that? You just see them like they'll do a little bit of nodding and they'll high five, but you don't see all this pontificating and all this crap.
Showboating. That's what
showboating.
We hate that also too. People who are doing all the showboating, really.
Oh, it's gross.
Cheesy, bad. So, yeah.
Mendoza, he's so humble. I didn't win the Heisman Trophy. My team won me the Heisman Trophy. That was his answer immediately. You don't see that, and I think we appreciate it. So they're an easy team to pull for. They're a very easy team.
Having some adversity with his mom's health and like real things to deal with in his life, not a social media contract or whatever. Like he's had real serious stuff to deal with. And I think it's just changed his outlook and where his priorities are. And, again, all these things are reflected in what's happening right now.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's had rewards in how they play as a team and where their priorities are.
Prometheus says, "Isn't Signetti too old for you, Jen?" Because apparently people in Blacksburg thought he was too old.
Definitely not too old for me. So I would slide into his DMs, but I don't think he is.
No, he wouldn't answer. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that.
I don't think he's interested in hearing from a Gamecock fan.
Yeah, probably not.
For some hope in the world, I don't think he cares. But I appreciate that too. That makes me even more attracted.
Well, and the fact that it's Indiana, as Coach Elmo said, this was the worst. They are the worst Power 4 record program in the history of the sport.
And they have a really good music program. I was going to apply there also.
Crazy.
That's funny to think about. But their band sounded really good.
Yeah.
I hate that the bands couldn't play live on the field, but they sounded great.
Yeah.
Good program.
Well, I'm sorry about your mouthpiece ordeal, sincerely.
Thank you for calling a mouthpiece. I know too, like some people are like, your sax thingy. But
no, it's a mouthpiece. It's like football. You're a sports guy. We got to relate it to football. It's mouthpiece.
No,
I get
I'm
it.
glad you remembered it, and might be a few $100 outlay, but I'm happy to pay it to get something like it back in my life. So,
and you will. Well, hang in there. And then next week, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to all this being repaired to a point where we get to hear Jen play Killer's Whisper. It's going to be great.
Is it? So much build up. I'm like, I'm going to be honest too. Now, this is something I'm going to have to work past, but I'm really concerned about the sound quality. I just don't know how good it's going to be.
Well, we'll give it a shot. I don't think people will care. They'll understand. They just want to hear it. I get it. I think like right now, you sound so good in your place. The music will come across fine. It'll be good. It'll be fine.
We'll see.
Come on, optimism. Come on, you're a South Carolina football fan. Optimism, Jen. Come on.
That's right. Okay. 2026 is our year. I mean, Shane Beamer said we're going to be in the playoffs next year. He said it. So, you're right. It'll happen. I mean, he declared it to be.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry. I talked so much about my stuff. Your New Year's been okay, and
yeah, I mean, it was getting back from I had an RU game on New Year's Eve, so we had to come back from Spartanburg. I was in your state on Wednesday.
Okay.
Got back about 8:30 and just kind of almost dozed through the whole start of the new year. I was pretty tired when we got back, but got a win, so that's all that matters.
When is your next game?
Next Wednesday. We're off this weekend. We have our conference bye this week early. I don't like it, but I don't think the coaches like it. So we play on next Wednesday, and then we don't have a bye again. So we're getting ours done out of the way early. So
okay, you get a free weekend. What are you going to do?
Free weekend. Hey, I don't know. It won't be anything big. It'll just be like, there's so much around here I'm behind on. I got to get stuff done here. Basketball, I travel so much that it just, takes away from it. So it's pretty boring. I know.
No, it's hard. It's hard when you travel a lot. You got the suitcase and you're in and out. Clothes come out of the suitcase, wash, clothes go back in.
Yeah. And even when you have time the day before you travel, I don't feel like doing anything because I'm like, I travel. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything, So then you're like, I better go ahead. I had a day or two now. I better try to do some stuff. So.
Well, at least there've been some fun bowl games. Like the Pop-Tarts Bowl was fun. I like the whole, what do they call it? Live mascot sacrifice thing at the end where they eat the mascot.
Yeah,
they eat the mascot. Fun.
Yeah.
There's some.
I think the bowls are. We're going to start losing more and more bowls. Though the bowls are going to start going bye pretty soon.
I mean, you can see how poorly attended they are. If South Carolina, now of course we were not bowl eligible, but if we had gone to a crappy bowl, I don't think I would have gone around Christmas and all the band kids. That's another thing people don't think about is all the band people have to miss Christmas with their loved ones to do stuff like that, and all the cheerleaders and everything. And
you get overlooked. I know.
Well, and they make them take the bus, so they've got a day of travel on the front and the back end of it, and they have to travel. Whereas the team just flies in and out and does what they need to. So I'm just kind of relieved that we didn't have that happen.
Well, Happy New Year, my dear. And,
Happy New Year to you.
Play your cards right. You might see me at the end of the month.
What?
Huh? I know, right?
Can you believe it's 2026?
Well, look at it. No, but you know what? We're still alive. And I don't mean that facetiously. Hey, we're still alive doing our thing. And there's a lot to be thankful for when you can still say
That's
that.
True.
So, and I'm always thankful for you.
Oh,
So
I'm thankful for you too. Thanks for putting up with my sax geek talk. being supportive.
No, people understand. We're looking forward to next Friday. Now, I will say the mob will turn on you if you're not playing the sax next Friday. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You're not going to get another mulligan on this. Tough love I'm just telling you. I know chat. I know this group. These people here now. They want to watch out. My chat. They're loyal.
If I have to play alto, I could maybe get my alto out or something. I'll figure out something.
I know you will.
Okay.
All right. Be good.
You too.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Enjoy your not having to work.
Traveling? Yeah. Are you traveling?
No, I'm playing the men's basketball. Well, assuming I can find a mouthpiece. I'm going to play the men's basketball game tomorrow. I'll probably play on a temporary mouthpiece tomorrow. And then we start back at work Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too. Full throttle on Monday. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, be good. Have a great weekend and good luck with your mouthpiece search.
Thank you, darling. Happy New Year.
All right. Happy New Year. There you go. It's Jen the Gamecock Girl. As always, we love Jen the Gamecock Girl. TLB says Rick should make Panera part of his weekend. No, we're not. We're not. Panera's not part of the weekend plan. It's just not. Yeah, I think I'm sitting around here on a Saturday afternoon. Ooh, boy, I need to nosh out. Let's go to Panera. I haven't broken my teeth yet here in 2026. Let's go get some of that concrete hard toast. Oh, I know. I'll get a bowl of nice soup to dip it in. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Good start to 2026. We won't have any show interruption for a while, so that's great. Have a great weekend. Thanks to all of our guests today, Coach Elmo, Mike, and Jen. And please share the channel. They're going to start pushing me again now. We got to get to 1,000. So please remind people to subscribe to the channel. We don't bug them. But thanks to everybody in chat. Thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors. Hopefully this thing continues to grow bigger and better in 2026. I mean, I keep reminding myself we're only 4 months in. So the sky's the limit, right? But we got to get to 1,000. I'm going to start it now before I get yelled at, which I know I will here soon. But it's been great. Thanks for all the views, for all the watches. You got us so far over the limit there. It's great. And everybody enjoy whatever sports you're watching or whatever you're doing this weekend. Stay safe. We'll see you on Monday. Be good, everybody.